So now you're all old hands, you know. So I don't think you fall for any of the stuff about meditation that you find on Google. But like meditation, you know, if you just do a Google search, you know, meditation is something very mysterious, you know. It's got all, you know, it's got all these benefits and things you do, and you know, breathing. But actually, meditation isn't mysterious at all. It's all about just how you can be with your mind. That's what it's about. Actually, see, it's not about controlling your mind. It's about how to be with your mind. And so we sit quietly in a room by ourselves, usually by ourselves, okay? But this is how we approach the meditation, because with all the kind of ordinary, mundane distractions not being there, you know, when we're in this kind of space, we can examine our mind. We can examine what it is, what experience is. When you're distracted, you cannot notice this. When you're distracted, you cannot see your mind. It's called unawareness while being aware. I won't go into that. So, now you're sitting there, right? Do you notice that your mind jumps around a lot? Do you notice that? Whether you're awake or asleep dreaming, mind is always jumping around. You need to be aware of this, you know. And basically, every single experience we have is like this. This jumping, you know. This, nothing lasts, you see. Jumping from one thing to another. Right? There's just this bing, 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 bing. All over the place. Shopping list, work, jumping around, you know. And yet it's very interesting, you know. When we react to just one thought, or just an experience, when we react, immediately we react, there follows a whole stream of thoughts about that experience. A whole stream of thoughts. That stream of thoughts obscures the reality of the experience. Because of that obscuring quality, the experience appears to be solid and real. It's a little bit like, if you have, in terms of negative experience, it's a little bit like if you have a sore and you start picking at it. No, you have a sore, initial experience, you start picking at it. Your mind doesn't leave it alone. It starts picking at it. You know, this picking becomes the cause of our suffering. And at the same time, your mind has a non-stick quality. Nothing sticks. Bing, 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 bing. Nothing sticks. Nothing sticks. And yet, even though it's like that, because of our reactivity, because of our reactions, we make it solid. We make the experience solid. So, the trick here is to treat all these mental events for what they actually are. Not how we think they are, how they actually are. Bing, 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 bing. How do you do that? How do you treat them how they actually are? The bottom line is you leave them alone. You stop picking. So, it's when you leave your mind unaltered that you discover this non-sticky aspect of mind. As long as you're picking at it, it's solid and real. Thoughts come, and if you leave them alone, they go. If you leave them alone. Shall we try that for a little bit? So you might wonder, Martin, sorry, hold on. So you might wonder, Martin, I can't stop picking that. Well, if that happens, you need to refocus. You need to deliberately change your focus from the picking thing to something else, what we call a support for our meditation. It could be anything, listening to sound. As soon as you do this, as soon as you switch your focus, the previous sore has already dissolved. You don't, once that's happened, you don't have to keep focused on something different. You can just simply allow your mind to be. Every time you start picking, you know what to do. If you're not picking, you know what to do. Rest. Rest. Thoughts still come, but they're not a problem. They don't last. All your thoughts have messages. They're messages. They're not real. They're messages. Some of the messages are important, but most of them aren't so important. You don't have to change the thought or the experience. You know? Don't shoot the messenger. You know? Just say thank you and let the messenger continue on her rounds. Each thought, you allow it to come. You leave it as it is, and it continues on its round. You don't have to establish anything. This is just openness. All of these things are being freed in your openness. Nothing to hold on to. Nothing to gain. Nothing to lose. Deep rest. Contentment. And yet, these experiences still come. It's not a problem. As you sit quietly like this, there are less messages, less thoughts. But that's not the purpose of meditation. The purpose of meditation is how to be with this mind, not to change your mind, to discover how your mind actually is. So then we take our dog for a walk. We bring this experience into everyday reality. All the time. Everything that's happening to you and around you. All the time. In as much as you can. You just leave the thinking in the thinking. You leave the experiences as experiences. You don't poke at them. I found that good. I release those who have better things to do.